And that's the moment where I realized the superpower of love and the superpower of kindness. I realized that multiple people were there because I gave them love and kindness in the past. And that pushed me to try to figure out what was the business value of love and kindness.
Packaging design should seduce, inform, and even save the planet. I'm Hernan Braverman, and this is Branderman, the podcast where I talk with experts to uncover what it actually takes to make a positive impact on consumers, the market, and society. Warning: keep this podcast out of the reach of close-minded marketers and designers. Before the interview, let me introduce my design agency.
Brands with purpose. Human, agile, honest brands that leave no one indifferent. Tridimage creates and revitalizes brands to imagine and shape the future. Tridimage, the branding and packaging design agency for bold brands.
Today I had the pleasure to speak with Mauro Porcini, Chief Design Officer at PepsiCo. He joined the Food and Beverage Corporation in 2012, where he's infusing design thinking into PepsiCo's culture. Mauro is leading a new approach to innovation by design that impacts the company's products, platforms, and brands. His focus extends from physical to virtual expressions of the brands. In this episode, we talk about his book, The Human Side of Innovation, The Power of People in Love with People. Mauro shares lessons on innovation, design, and leadership. He also charts the path that individuals and business will have to follow to thrive in the future, to unleash creative energies and to create a better world. Today with me, Mauro Porcini. Mauro, each of us is a container of ideas, projects, and dreams. However, we can't read the label when we are inside the jar. What do you think your label says, or what would you like it to say?
Love. I will love the people to see love when they somehow interact with me. Love in three dimensions: the love for the people surrounding me, for my family, my friends, the people impacting my life, the people colliding in my journey, both the professional and the personal. The love that I have for what they do, the passion that drives me every day to proceed towards my dream or my multiple dreams. And then the love that I have for what they do as a designer, as a business leader. So the creation of products, brands, solutions of any kind that somehow build value for people out there. So the love for the people there in the world that I try to serve through the products, the solutions, the brands, the services, the experiences that we create every day.
Beautiful. Building a brand is like a journey. It starts with defining where we are and asking ourselves where we want to go. What was the incredible path that led a humble Italian guy from studying industrial design at the Politecnico di Milano to being the first chief design officer at both 3M and PepsiCo?
It's a journey that was based somehow on a dream and a variety of different values. The dream was the one of somehow impacting the life of people through the platforms that were at my disposal. They happened to be two multinational corporations. It could have been something else, no matter if you are in a company that is big, one that is small, in an agency, or anything we do, anything can become a platform to create value for people. And so I was driven by that. And I was driven by the series of values and beliefs, like, for instance, the power of knowledge, of knowing, of culture, and then the power of kindness, bringing people with me, finding always ways to build bridges and connect with others and together move against a specific direction. And the power of curiosity that brought me to explore reality, the world, our society in so many ways over the years, through incredible books, through trips that were sometimes business trips, sometimes personal trips, but trips where I always got lost in the cities where I was going. And then I tried to discover things that were new to me. And with that, I grew. I grew by talking with different people, by observing the way they connect with each other, the way they drink, they eat, they have fun, they work. So all of this curiosity helped me grow in all these years. And then later on, the ability to realize that journey is a never-ending journey of growing, to learn continuously and be a student for your entire life. These are some of the values that drove me in these big corporations to build cultures that didn't exist before, to create organizations that were new to those companies, to overcome so many difficult roadblocks and difficulties over the years, because every time you try to build something radically new, there is always, difficulties and roadblocks and challenges. So this somehow drove me in the past few years from that town in Italy to New York and PepsiCo.
Can you recognize a moment that transformed you into the current version of Mauro?
I don't think there is one specific moment. It's literally a journey with different steps of increased awareness. For sure, there are some milestones that are more significant than others. For instance, when I went through a personal crisis in 2015, a divorce, a moment where I lost control of my life, essentially. Everything went well until then. And then all of a sudden, my personal life falls apart and I lose control. There is a deep moment of depression that I never had in my life.
Wow.
I mean, I've been always super positive, super optimistic. I thought the depression would never touch me. And instead, it happened to me. In that moment, I had so many people that were really nice to me, that helped. My friends, my family, some of my colleagues. And that's the moment where I realized the superpower of love and the superpower of kindness. I realized that multiple people were there because I gave them love and kindness in the past. And then when I needed their love and their kindness, they were there for that. I also realized after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to be more strategic than in the past in surrounding myself with this kind of values. And that pushed me to try to figure out what was the business value of love and kindness. If I need to identify a moment, for sure, one of those moments was that change. And it's interesting to see how that change started in my private life, but then had a huge impact in my professional life. No matter what we try to do to divide the two lives, they are totally blended. To be happy in life, you need to be happy also at work. And that is the responsibility of companies, CEOs, business leaders of any kind, team leaders. The idea of creating happiness for their teams is a huge responsibility that any leader has for their teams.
This human side, do you recognize some relationship with your Italian roots inside an American corporation?
Yes and no. Maybe it's the way I talk about this, full of passion and love, and the use of specific words is more romantic Italian, if you want. I do think that the values I talk about are kind of universal. In some business cultures, often there is less space for some of these human values that are universal. I'm trying to push something that is universal, but then every different culture, the Italian one, the American one, the Latin American one in general, and the Asian one in general, will have certain kind of rules and there's in the professional work that are slightly different from one another. But usually in a professional environment, no matter where you are, in Italy, in Brazil, in the United States, or in Japan, they expect you to behave in a certain way. And the word love, the word happiness, the word kindness, these words are not common words, no matter where you find yourself, including Italy for sure.
Yeah. Mauro, why do people need brands?
Because they need safety somehow. If you think about the hierarchy of needs of Maslow, everything starts at the bottom of the pyramid. We need safety, we have physiological needs. Then you go up to this idea of sense of belonging, connecting with others, self-expression, all the way to transcendence, something bigger than you. So when you interact with products of any kind, you buy the product because there is a functional value that you search in that specific product. But the brand was invented at the beginning of time as a way to reassure you on the quality and the safety. First was the safety of the product. You can trust this product because it's made by that merchant, by that artisan in the village. He does great things and they're safe and they're useful. Now, over time, if you think again about the origin of branding, from reliability in terms of, the product is safe, the product is reliable, the product is good quality, it became the signature of specific artisans and merchants and designers, we'll call them today, became also a statement. It became something big.
Yeah.
It became a way to show your material status. You could buy certain things, or you're belonging to a certain kind of community. Even that is connected to the Maslow pyramid of needs.
Yeah.
Even that is connected to your need of self-expression, of defining your identity compared to others. And so why do we need brands? Because somehow we have these inner needs connected to the Maslow pyramid that we fulfill also through the stories that this brand tell us every time we interact with products. And we need brands because products exist. We interact with products all the time. And in those products, we search so much more than the mere functionality of the product itself.
What is for you the good part and the evil part of brands?
The good part is when a brand is used in a purposeful way. If you have a brand, and especially in big organizations, you invest a lot of money on that brand, then you can use this money to push positivity in the world. It could be the positivity of your product. So the brand is endorsing a product that is creating value for the world. But beyond the product, it could be also the positivity of the message that the brand is carrying, a point of view on society, especially today. If you think about the world today, a point of view on a variety of different themes like diversity. The brand does good when the brand has a purpose that is creating a positive impact on the world. There are two dimensions of not being good. One is when you don't use the money you're investing to create some form of value for society. Then it becomes really bad when you invest all those money to create negative impact in the world and in society. I remember many years ago, I was having a conversation on stage with Stefan Sagmeister about the importance of beauty. What I was sharing on the stage is that beauty needs to be connected with a positive purpose. Beauty has been used in so many different ways over the years by emperors and dictators and different kind of powerful people to indoctrinate the masses in the wrong direction through architecture, through graphic design, to product design. So anything can be used in a positive way or the negative way. The intent, the meaning that you give to that thing, whatever that is, could be a brand, could be a piece of art, could be a piece of architecture, could be a product, is what makes the difference.
If designers, as you say, are the ambassadors of human beings inside food and beverage corporation that sometimes still sell unhealthy products in unsustainable packages, how do we reconcile such different point of views?
We live in a world that for the past 100 years has been creating a portfolio of products that by definition are having a negative impact on the environment. Actually, any designer of the world should feel the responsibility of this, any entrepreneur, because the moment we create any single product, we're having a negative impact on the environment. The energy we use for production, the distribution, the carbon footprint, eventually the emissions and the pollution created by many of these products, and finally the energy used in this mission of this product. So by definition, we as designers, the moment we start to design products, we're having a negative impact on the environment. We should be all aware of this. This should be the starting point. Therefore, ideally, We want to try to reuse as much as possible products that were already created. That's the most sustainable approach. The second is immediately after, try to recycle as much as possible. And therefore, you need to design products keeping in mind that kind of ability. Now, if this is true, the responsibility to do all of this falls into different areas. One is the companies. They need to try to push as much as possible products that are as sustainable as possible, as healthy as possible. The other one is the user. I mean, there is this situation in which nobody's forcing you to buy products that are not good for you, to buy products that you think are polluting the environment. You have choice. And you know what is the paradox? Are these companies that are giving you choice. The companies that often you accuse, often they have in their portfolio alternative choices that are great. As a designer, you have two choices. One is to stay outside of these companies, point the finger, complain, and not change anything. And if you do that, you should stop also being a designer, because anything you're producing is polluting the environment. Even the so-called green products are not good for the environment. We should stop producing. Most of the items, unless are not really, really necessary. But it's not the world we live in. The other choice is to join these companies and help them pushing things in the right direction as much as possible. So if I think about myself and my team in PepsiCo, we're pushing like crazy. And by the way, with the full support of the CEO and the corporation, the creation of products like Sodastream Professional. The company acquired for billions of dollars, Sodastream the company, Gatorade GX. We launched a series of new brands of water like Lifewtr. We created these snacks for ketogenic diets. We have so many offerings that are going in the right direction. What is human centricity in companies that work in a system that by definition is polluting eventually the world? Well, the role is to help this company steer in the direction. We need people to embrace these solutions. So if I am here as a designer, I produce many new ideas and sustainable products and healthy products. I need people out there to buy them. And so it's not easy. And that's why it's a mutual kind of conversation. And we need to remind the world that they have absolute power to change things today. It's not like, oh my God, I live in a place where there is a dictator. I cannot take the dictator down in this country. No, you have choice. It's up to you. And the more you choose things that are better for you, the more the company is going to invest in those things. We need to change the narrative. One, designers of the world, if you care about sustainability, join these companies if they let you do what you want to do, because your impact will be an impact of scale. I did for sustainability so much more than anything I could have ever done from outside of the company. I saved so many billions bottles of products of any kind. We pushed so many new products in the system at scale. I could have never been able to do anything like this in a startup. We need the startups. We need people outside of the corporations, but we also need passionate people that want to change the world to join these companies, to help these companies driving in the right direction. And we need the world out there to remind everybody that this is an ecosystem where every actor has a very important role. And together we're going to change the world. But if these companies produce sustainable solutions and nobody buy them, they can't keep doing that.
Unicorns are kind and curious, are optimist and proactive, are humble but confident. They balance the ability to dream with the ability to get things done. In your new book, The Human Side of Innovation, The Power of People in Love with People, you talk about love, kindness, empathy, humbleness, respect, generosity, devotion. Your innovation lexicon is really spiritual, even religious. How did your upbringing influence your human's perspective on design and innovation?
It's been really, really, really important, the role of my parents. their celebration of culture on one side and kindness on the other, their love for what they were doing. One, as an artist, and the other one, my mom as a writer, even though the real job, in the case of my mom, she was in finance and my father was an architect and a school professor, but they had this passion for what they were doing. So I've been witnessing every day of my life as a child, the power of culture, of kindness and love for what you do. Yes, my parents, by the way, are extremely religious as well. And I come from a country that is a very warm, loving kind of country. We're not ashamed to show our emotions. So for sure, my upbringing and my cultural background is a key component of what I do. But we need to understand also that often we have stereotypes for countries. I guess the role of my family has been very, very important in all of this. But then I learned the side of business, the side of finance, the side of profit and market share, the side of return on investment. And it's been a fascinating journey of learning, combining the two dimensions, combining love and emotions and kindness with the world of business. So that all of a sudden, these words were not just the romantic manifestation of my background and my beliefs, but would become something relevant for companies and for businesses to drive value, concrete, tangible financial value for these organizations as well.
Mauro, most companies practice something I like to call innovation porn. They do not engage in real change, but a scripted and spectacular version, oriented more to how it looks than to what it does. How can we practice real human innovation instead of innovation porn?
It's an interesting idea that you just shared, and I love the word innovation porn because it really talks about the need of continuously refreshing products, often in a way that is not meaningful for people, is not relevant for society. It's not easy to do innovation in a meaningful way, simply because it's risky. And we live in a world where risk is not just the risk of the business and the products, but it's the risk also of your company in the financial ecosystem. It all starts with a culture of innovation and a culture of human centricity. You need a series of people in different functions of the organization, in marketing, design, in R&D, to believe inside themselves, in their heart, that their mission is, first of all, to leverage these platforms in a responsible way to create value for the people out there, for society. They need the belief that if you create something extraordinary for people, something meaningful, relevant, great for them, then you will also generate value for the company. Usually the value, though, is generated in the long run. So that's the first thing to understand. It's so difficult to change things from night to day and doing breakthrough innovation and drive that innovation at scale. It's a journey. So that's the first complexity. The second one is understanding that a lot of innovation will fail.
Yeah.
And so you need to have a financial algorithm that give you the possibility to extract as much value out of your core business so that you can reinvest that value in a very inefficient way in your innovation machine, knowing that a big chunk of what you're going to generate with that machine is going to fail, and knowing that whatever is going to stick anyway will take time to grow, will take time to generate the scale that you have with other businesses. This is also the reason why innovation in these companies, and in my case, for instance, the role of design-driven innovation shouldn't be just the ability to create products in-house that go to market, but it should be an effort that infuse somehow the overall strategy of the organization and infuse, therefore, the strategy of acquisitions. You may buy innovation on the basis of the vision you build in the company, the strategy of partnership and new ventures. So you can partner with startups or entities of any kind, universities or incubators or other kind of organizations to produce things with agility and test and learn and then scale up together, but with much more agility because you do it with external partners. And then there is innovation from within. And even there, you have the more true innovation, the one usually driven with a clear competitive advantage that most of the time should be a technological competitive advantage, that kind of innovation may require years to come to market. And then there is another kind of innovation that is where you have less of a clear competitive advantage dependable in time, but you have the advantage of being first to market with a strong idea. And the e-commerce platform is a good platform to test ideas, to bring them to market, see how things go, understand if something is working, something is not working, and what is working, scaling it up, what is not working, killing it quickly, learning as much as possible, reapply the insights to something else. So 4 dimensions: acquisitions, partnerships, internal innovation that is breakthrough, and then internal innovation that is much more agile. These are the output of an innovation kind of culture.
Fantastic. What do you know today about innovation that you wish you had known years ago?
At school, I learned that innovation was supposed to be human-centered, and they told me that you needed to create value for people. It was all about that. When you have the right product, then you're going to make money with this. Then I joined companies and I realized that the big investment often were in promoting existing products, in supporting them in a variety of different ways. And for a while, I believed that this is the reality of the business world. And then I went back full circle, still at the time of 3M, realizing instead that human-centered innovation was absolutely fundamental. It was a journey that was done in a society that was changing together with me. Something changed that made human centricity approach to innovation more important, more relevant than ever.
Now I propose we play a game. As you know, a ping pong table is a must in many creative studios. So I will make you a series of brief questions and you have to choose one or another concept. And if you want, you can explain why you choose it. Are you ready for Brandersman ping pong?
Let's do it.
I am a designer or I am an innovator?
For me, they're synonyms, so I cannot answer. I'm both.
Perfect. Close brief or open-ended brief?
Open-ended brief, absolutely.
Creative strategist or strategic designer?
Creative strategist.
A creation project or a redesign project?
A creation project.
Focus groups or gut feelings?
Gut feelings. Even though they are not enough, obviously, but if your gut feelings are instructed by your observation of the world, of reality, your conversations with others, then they're great. And so if I need to choose between the two, I prefer gut feelings that are educated versus focus group that often are used in the wrong way and kill any interesting idea.
Sure. Mass market or premium market?
Mass market.
Conceptualization or execution?
The problem is that you need both. If I have to choose, I prefer conceptualization because at least is a good starting point. If you start with execution, you're screwed because you miss the vision, the dream, the concept, the idea.
Yeah. Graphics or structure?
Structure.
Your 3D background is there. Your industrial design.
But also because I think very simply that structure means you're thinking in 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
And once you have the structure, by definition, you need a surface, colors, graphic, you need something. If you just focus on graphic, you're going to miss the 3-dimensionality of whatever you're working on.
Forms follow function or forms follow emotion?
Form follow emotions, totally.
Leading designers or continuing to design all your life?
Continuing to design all my life.
Remote work or face-to-face work?
On that, I'm sorry, I need both. Hybrid. Yeah, both.
And finally, pizza or pasta? I'm kidding.
Pizza. Pizza tonight and pasta tomorrow.
That's great. And finally, great designers are born or great designers are made?
Are made.
Is design a solution or a story? What do you think?
A story. A story, absolutely a story. The solution is part of the story. But if it's just a solution without a story, you miss something that is so meaningful and so important in design.
Soon, competitors in every market will be able to claim the same mission for impact. How will brands differentiate in the era of purpose?
You need a unique original point of view. We may all think that we love the idea of kindness as an example, but then each of us is going to have a different interpretation of that. Each of us is going to practice in different ways, with different codes, how you're going to do it, and not just the what. And this is what we should always understand. In the world of semantics, the meaning is defined by the message, but also by the code that you use at the media platform. Every time we focus on sustainability, on health and wellness, or any kind of social purpose that we may associate to our brands, is all about the way we do it. The message is, well, I want to be sustainable.
Yeah.
But the code, the language you use, the visual language you use, the platform, how you use your products, your digital platforms, the experiences in the world to convey that purpose is what is going to make the difference and what is going to make your purpose successful or irrelevant in the world.
What is your best tip for making the world of package design a better place?
The idea that is also the subtitle of my book, People in Love with People. Each word has a profound meaning. The first set of people is about these incredible unicorns and individuals that think in an extraordinary way and are great innovators. The second set of people refers to the idea of human centricity. The word love summarizes three important things. Is the love for the people you serve, is the love for what you do, is the love for the people around you, your teams, your peers, your bosses, your colleagues in general that you want to bring with you to drive innovation. That's what we need in these companies. We need more and more people that are in love with people.
And if you could wave a magic wand and fix 2 or 3 things in the design industry that would help you sleep better at night, what would that look like?
First, designers that are able to protect their intuition, their imagination, but are also able to understand the business world and the people out there with a good dose of humbleness. And this is in contrast with the design star or the design genius. The other one is making sure that we understand how to position ourselves in the business world, from great professionals able to work on the aesthetic, on the style of a product, or eventually able to work on this connection between form and function, to professionals that can drive innovation, that can drive business growth, but talking the language of business, making sure that the business world understand what we do. Lastly, I would love the design world to recognize organizations, teams, people that are driving that change, because they are creating so much value for the design community, opening so many new opportunities and jobs for these designers in all these companies. And mostly because they're empowering these companies to do good for the world, to create more value for people. So they're doing good for society. And so often instead, we are so focused as a community in the craftsmanship of the art of design. We forget how important it is to have more and more design ambassadors able to bridge the two worlds of design and business and promote that kind of idea in the business world. This will open so many opportunities for the design community, for these companies, and for society.
What do you predict will emerge in the package design space in 10, 20 years from now? And how do you imagine the term package design will evolve?
Well, for sure, there will be AI that will do a lot of work for us. And so we need to understand what is the role of the human being in managing the tools that AI can give us. In the past, you would have a designer with a Pantone, a pencil in front of a piece of paper designing packaging. And then later on, it became faster to do that because we could use Photoshop and Illustrator and a variety of different softwares. In the future, we designers will use artificial intelligence to test ideas, to create things in seconds or less versus the hours or days that would require to us to do that. The problem is we need to be careful not to be replaced by machines, but not because, the society needs to give designers a job, but because the ability to be human in this process, the ability to make mistakes, the ability to follow your gut, deviate from what a machine is telling you is fundamental. When the machines will be able to replace a human being completely, then the job of the designers will be the last of the problems for this society, because these machines will wonder, why do we need humans at all? They're a virus to this planet and to the environment. They're so inefficient and we don't need them. So hopefully we'll never arrive there. And before we arrive there, there will be always space for people. But if I was in the shoes of a young designers today, trying to understand how to innovate in the world, I would really start studying the potential of AI in our profession and try to be one of the people leading that kind of approach sooner than others. And again, it's super, super early, but you know how technology works. It moves so fast. So before we even realize new opportunities could be there, should you, designer listening to us right now, be the one leading these new opportunities and knocking the door of companies like PepsiCo with thousands of projects every day and offering us something that we didn't think about before.
How do you try to disrupt yourself in a world that is constantly changing?
By constantly talking with other people, reading books, traveling and changing perspective. These two words, changing perspective, are the key words, including, what I just said earlier, the conversation with different people, going to conferences, going to exhibits, reading books. Is all about opening your mind, changing perspective, keeping the excitement level super, super high. At the end of the day, 95% of our growth and our learning is on us. You need to get out of your comfort zone and put yourself out there, not being afraid of interacting with people or content that is different than you, because sometimes it could be perceived as a waste of time in reading or traveling beyond the business meeting that you're doing in a city, doing things that may be perceived as a non-efficient use of your time, but in reality, they give you so much energy and so much inspiration to keep doing what you do at work in the best possible way.
What is the most important thing on your to-do list for your professional life? What is your next adventure?
I realize how important it is for me to push to the next level this idea of love, kindness, empathy, optimism, curiosity. By writing this book and then by having multiple conversations like the one I'm having with you and speeches in conferences, I realize how people are resonating with these ideas, how connected they are, how much they want executives of big companies to talk about this. Mm-hmm. Because there are many executives of big companies that embrace this kind of values. They behave in that way, but they don't talk about it. The moment you start to talk about this, then essentially you're giving permission to millions of other people eventually to be like this, to be kind, to be optimistic, to be curious, to be respectful, to be empathetic, to practice that idea of love that is so important in these organizations.
Mauro, thanks for this uplifting talk. As Dante Alighieri wrote, "From the little spark may burst a mighty flame." Mauro, more than a design guru, you are the design pope.
Thank you so much. Nobody ever called me design pope.
You are the design pope.
Thank you so much.
Grazie di cuore.
Thanks. Design pope, I'm gonna use it.
I hope you have enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. You can check the episode notes for all the relevant links. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram and on my website, branderman.design. Follow the podcast in your favorite app so you don't miss the next episode of Branderman, the podcast where we try to uncover how to make a positive impact on consumers, the market, and society through package design.